So
Okay.
malaki ang tulong kung graduate ka dito sa Canada. Kung magta-transition ka, gusto mo maging PR.
Hey, welcome to Secure Visa Podcast. I am Aina, your host, a former international student and now a permanent resident here in New Zealand. And in the show, it's all about learning from our team of experts, immigration lawyers, and successful migrants to share with you about immigration policies, their life being an international student, and how to immigrate to your ultimate destinations like Canada or New Zealand. So, maraming salamat for staying with me, and let's start learning. So, in the last episode, we talked about the 8 reasons why student visa is the most popular way to immigrate. So, nandyan yan sa Facebook kung hindi mo pa napapanood. So, for us to fully understand the study to permanent residency pathway, in today's episode, we will talk about how you can gain your permanent residence visa using the student pathway in Canada. So, of course, sino ba mga kasama natin ngayon? I will be joined by Secure Visa's immigration lawyer, who is a seasoned veteran in the immigration field. Hi, Attorney Earl. Welcome back.
Hi, Aina. It's glad to be
Yes.
back in this podcast. Well,
Yep.
I'm excited to discuss a new topic for today.
Of course. Yes. Attorney, let's go straight to the topic. I have a question. Ito yung kumbaga laging tinatanong sa atin, no? Unang tanong or siguro sige, let's give this a question, no? Bakit marami sa ating mga Filipinos choose to go to the study pathway? Long process ba or complicated ba makakuha ng permanent residency pag hindi nag-aral sa Canada?
Yes, that is a good question. Actually, Aina, alam naman natin na pagpunta dito sa Canada is hindi madali. Right? You have to be
Okay.
assessed. You have to know your qualifications. You have to know the programs. And one of the programs that can bring you to permanent residency here is through the student pathway. Okay? Yung student pathway na tinatawag natin, it's like a combination of programs from student, and then you will transition to another program until you reach yung permanent residency status, and then ultimately maging citizen ka dito sa Canada. Okay. Kung ang tanong dito kung madali makarating sa permanent residency status from a student visa,
Yes.
is ang dapat natin isipin is paano ka makakarating muna dito as a student.
Yun nga.
Right. So pag nandito ka na as a student, then everything opens up. But
A lot of opportunities.
yes, a lot of opportunities and a lot of programs that you can avail to transition to permanent residency. However, ang proviso diyan is it's not a guarantee, right? That
Of course.
you can get a permanent residency through student international student
Yes.
permit, right? Kasi from the start you have to plan it ahead. Kumbaga, you have to develop a roadmap from
Yes.
the start. Kasi hindi lahat ng estudyante rito can bring you to PR. Okay?
That's true. Hindi lahat. Kailangan ng determination, commitment,
Correct.
diba? Tsaka kailangan mo tapusin yung pag-aaral mo.
Yes.
Diba?
And before that, Aina, yung decision making, right?
Oh, yes.
Yung decision making to enter into like a student, international student in Canada is really a big decision to make.
Responsibility.
Yeah, it's a big decision to make, and you can only do that kung meron kang correct information, and then you're confident in making that decision. So you can be only confident kung meron kang information talagang tama
Ahead of time.
from Secure Visa and some other experts na magbibigay
Yes.
sa'yo ng tamang pathway.
Tama.
Okay?
Totoo yan. Pero attorney, ang mga iba pang mga tinatanong, no, malaking tulong ba? Kasi you're saying that, yes, may pathway, mahirap. Gaano kalaking tulong ba sa mga aspiring migrants to boost their points towards residency pag nag-aaral?
malaking tulong ang
Mhm.
makagraduate ka dito sa Canada. Sabi ko nga,
Mm.
it will open up opportunities pagka
Okay.
graduate ka dito.
Mhm.
Unang-una mong achievement dito yung Canadian diploma mo.
Yun.
Okay? So
Mhm.
yung Canadian diploma mo will will bring you to good employers.
Mm.
Compare
Mhm.
doon sa mga bagong immigrants dito. I'm not saying na yung mga permanent residents na hindi graduate, wala silang opportunity. But then,
Okay.
if you have a Canadian education, then employers will prefer graduates because
Mhm.
they know that you've gone through the training, a Canadian training and
Mm.
Canadian education. So ibig sabihin, estudyante ka pa lang, meron ka ng opportunity na maganda talaga ang magiging trabaho mo
Mhm.
after, because some programs they have yung tinatawag nating co-op, yung
Mm.
placement. So
Mhm.
makakabuo ka na ng network mo, you will meet employers, and if
Yes.
you're in the top of your class, then you may be retained ng
Mhm.
employer na yon kahit na nag-OJT ka pa lang. So ibig sabihin
Yan.
no, nag-aaral ka pa lang, meron ka ng potential employer. So na pag
Yes.
nag-transition ka, graduate ka, then mag-apply ka na ng postgraduate work permit. And this will
Mhm.
be a bridge to get through the permanent residency. So
Okay.
malaki ang tulong ng kung graduate ka dito sa Canada. Kung magta-transition ka, gusto mo maging PR. Okay?
Mhm.
It can give you experience, like a
Right?
work experience inside Canada that you can you can use to
Mhm.
apply for another program. And it can give you also points if you go through a points-based system under the
Mhm.
Express Entry program.
Mhm.
Yan. So, yan ang mga advantages. And aside from that, sabi ko nga, mas angat ka doon sa mga bagong immigrants na walang Canadian education.
Yun yung
Okay?
gusto kong itanong, attorney eh. Kasi they're saying na in order for you to be a permanent resident or for you to apply, for you to submit no a permanent residency application sa Canada, you have to go through the express entry.
Mhm.
Tama, attorney. Doon sa
Yeah.
express entry, ito yung naririnig ko, no? Mas may edge yung mga nag-aral kasi mas mataas yung nakukuha nilang points because of their Canadian qualification, and at the same time, nakakuha sila ng Canadian work experience. Mas mataas yung points na versus doon sa offshore o yung mga wala pa sa Canada at nag-apply sa express entry.
Yes.
Tama ba yung pagkakaintindi ng karamihan?
Correct. Correct.
Mhm.
Tama yan. Kasi dito sa Express Entry, this is a system that manages some programs. Okay?
Mhm.
Tinawag yan Express Entry because pinabilis nila yung sistema. Dati, maabot ng years bago ka maging PR.
Yun nga narinig ko,
Pero
oo.
since nag-start ang Express Entry since 2015,
Mhm.
napabilis ang system. Ideally, pre-pandemic, ang turnaround time niyan is 6 to 8 months after
Mhm.
submission of
Mhm.
all the documents.
Mhm.
Right? So dito sa Express Entry, this is a points-based system.
Right.
Isa sa program dito, yung tinatawag nating Federal Skilled Worker Program. Halimbawa,
Mhm.
pag nakatapos ka dito, pag meron kang education offshore, ibig sabihin outside Canada, then you will get corresponding points. Kung bachelor's man yan, meron kang 21 points. Kung master's ka, you have 23
Hmm.
points. You have
Mhm.
PhD, you have 25 points, which is the maximum points para sa uh, minimum required points na 67 over 100. You will discuss that later on. Pero ito
Yes.
yung sinasabi ko, pagka meron kang education sa labas,
Mhm.
may points ka na. Pero
Mhm.
pagka nag-aral ka pa dito sa Canada, that will
Mhm.
be an additional points education inside Canada. So mas lataas yung points mo if
Mas
you go through the
tataas.
Express Entry Federal
Mhm.
Skilled Worker Program.
Ayun.
Okay?
Alright. So, attorney, ano yung common pathway? Usually, ano ba yung mga common pathway for the student? Kasi there are a
Yes.
lot of programs na pwede nilang applyan. At yun yung nakakatuwa dun eh. Kasi Canada offers a lot of programs for graduates, for international graduates, no? Para
Mhm.
makapag-apply sila for their permanent residency. Pero ano yung most common programs?
Well, dun sa mga programs from student
Mhm.
na you can use to transition to permanent residency,
Mm.
depende yan sa qualifications mo. Pero some
Mm.
of the programs include yung express entry programs, like yung sabi
Okay.
ko nga, yung Federal Skilled Worker Program, isa yan.
Alright. Mhm.
Yung kung kasali ka dun sa mga trades, yung professions mo or yung pinag-aralan mo sa Federal Skilled Trades Program, pwede ka rin
Mhm.
doon.
Mhm.
Pwede ka rin pumasok sa Canadian Experience Class kung
Okay.
magtatrabaho ka dito after ka
Alright.
mag-aral.
Mhm.
Okay, these are all programs that will bring you to permanent residency. Kung nag-aral ka naman sa Montreal or sa Quebec, pwede ka rin magkaroon ng opportunity to apply for a permanent residency in Quebec. But remember, Quebec has its own immigration system, right? Pwede rin ang estudyante na mag-apply under the Provincial Nominee Program. Ang Provincial Nominee Program is the provincial counterpart of the federal program in Canada. We have 10 provinces here in Canada that operates their own system of immigration provincially. Okay, so kumbaga kanya-kanyang immigration yan, yung mga programs na yan. So kung doon ka mag-settle sa isang province na yon, then you can apply through the Provincial Nominee Program.
Nominee. Okay.
Okay, which is also under the express entry. Okay, so merong isang program this year na inopen yung Canada, yung tinatawag nilang TR to PR
Ayun
program.
nga.
Yun yung nabalitaan siguro ninyo na
Oo.
mayroong 6 na streams na inopen up. At isa dito yung sa mga estudyante. Ang
Oo.
binigay na slot dito is 40,000 slots para
Wow.
makapag-apply ng PR. Pero you know what? In 1 week time, napuno ka agad yung 40,000 na yon. Okay, so ibig sabihin, maraming estudyante rito sa Canada na hindi pa talaga nakakapag-apply ng PR since graduate sila. Kasi if you cannot utilize yung PGWP towards an experience going to PR, then mananatili ka doon sa program na regular work permit. Ibig sabihin, pag regular work permit, you are under the contract of a specific employer.
Okay.
Okay? So yung
Temporary. Temporary lang din yung
temporary yon,
stay mo.
depende sa employer mo kung ilang taon bibigay sa yung
Oo.
employment contract. Ang remember, this is not an open work permit. So restricted ka doon sa employer na yon. Okay. So kung hindi ka makabuo ng 2 years doon or qualification towards PR, you will remain a temporary foreign worker.
Pero
Kaya yeah.
Pero this gives an impression, attorney, no, na ibig sabihin, the government is aware that there are a lot of students na hindi pa nakakatawid ng permanent residency. And kaya nila ginawa yung programa na yun is to help the students, the international students.
Oh
Ganun ba?
yes.
Tama ba
Oh
yun?
yes. Yeah.
So it really gives us an impression na gumagawa sila ng paraan to keep the skilled workers, no? Kasi after you graduate, of course you have the qualification na
Yes.
nag-gain ka na ng Canada qualification plus naka-gain ka na ng Canadian work experience. Of course yung skills mo tumaas na rin. So
Correct.
ibig sabihin they're keeping the skilled people
Yes.
talaga in their
Yes.
country, no?
Kasi naisip nila ang policy na ito is nandito na sila, they're contributing to the
Yun nga
economy
eh. Yeah, oo.
of Canada.
Yun ang maganda.
And
Oo.
then naman sila nag-aral kaya lang walang chance kasi 2017 ang eligibility. Kung graduate ka ng 2017 for at least 1 year program, then qualified ka. And you can also bring your family for PR.
Yep.
So lalo na nung dumating yung pandemic, nahirapan maghanap ng mga trabaho yung mga estudyante after
Yes.
graduate. So
Affected
that is
lahat.
the reason, one of the reasons kaya in-open up yung program na yon. But since napakarami ng mga estudyanteng nandun sa situation na yon, mabilis na puno yung 48,000. And sana, hopefully, baka buksan ulit. Hindi natin alam. Right?
Yeah. It keeps on changing eh, no? Nag-evolve
Correct.
yung policy. That's why it's really good to connect, with experience and professional team, no? Immigration lawyers. Kasi itong mga bagay nito, mahirap, no? Mahirap kasi yung pag-iintindi mo, iba din. Minsan yung perception mo and the way you understand things is different.
Correct.
Diba? From an immigration lawyer compared to what you really understand, no? So, yun talaga, it pays off to plan well and to connect with the right people. Sige.
Correct.
Attorney, going back dun sa sinabi mo, one of the common program or pathway para maresidente ang mga estudyante is through the Canadian Experience Class. No?
Yes.
Through Express Entry or mga tinatawag nila ng CEC. No? Can you explain about the CEC at bakit ito yung isa sa pinaka-popular na pathway for the student?
Yes. Ito kasing CEC, ang main requirement dito is yung experience mo dito sa Canada.
Experience. Work
Kaya
experience.
Work experience
Okay.
inside Canada.
Alright.
It doesn't really matter kung estudyante ka. Right? Halimbawa, worker ka, pinadala ka rito through intra-corporate transfer or merong branch ang company mo dito sa Canada, pinadala ka. nakapagtrabaho ka na more than 1 year, then you are eligible for Canadian Experience Class because you have a working experience already inside Canada.
Okay.
Okay? Ito namang CEC, kaya to common sa mga estudyante. It's
Okay.
because merong postgraduate work permit eligibility ang mga estudyante. Okay? Yung postgraduate work permit is only for students na graduate dito na gusto magtrabaho. Actually, yung expectation talaga ng estudyante is uuwi ka talaga sa home country mo. That's because student permit is a temporary permit,
Temporary
right?
permit.
So, pero kung gusto mo magtrabaho, then you can through postgraduate work permit, which is an open work permit, kahit saan ka magtrabaho, kahit sinong employer. So ngayon, yung postgraduate work permit mo na yan, magdedepende kung gaano kahaba yung program mo. If you studied for 1 year program, then you can get 1 year work permit. If you
Okay.
studied for a 2 year program, you can get a 2 year work permit, but a maximum of 3 years. Okay? So ngayon, kung nakapagtrabaho ka na doon, dahil for example, meron kang 3 years work permit, may 1 year work experience ka na, then eligible ka na sa Canadian Experience Class. Ito yung sinasabing common kasi merong postgraduate work permit. Okay? Ang kailangan
Okay.
lang dito is 12 months work experience dito sa
12 months work experience.
12 months work experience. Hindi kailangan dito yung work experience outside.
Sa
Hindi
Pilipinas. Oh.
hindi ang consideration dito is inside Canada.
Wow. Okay. At least 12 months lang.
12 months. 12
'Di ba?
months.
12 months lang, 'di
Yeah.
ba? So ano yung pa yung mga so regardless of the position, attorney, as long as they have accumulated the 12 months or meron pa rin tinitignan ba yung skill level sa CEC?
Well, sa CEC kasi merong requirements din 'yan. Ang sinasabing experience, hindi lahat ng estudyante na pwede makapasok diyan sa CEC. Okay, merong mga requirements diyan sa Canadian Experience Class. Merong language requirement, okay?
Okay.
Merong education requirement diyan. And then meron ding yung skill level requirement. Okay. So, ang makakapasok dito sa CEC yung mga nasa skill level 0, A, and B. Okay? Yung 0 is a managerial skill. Okay?
Okay.
Yung A naman, yung professional jobs. And technical jobs, yung B. Okay. Kung nakapagtrabaho ka dyan sa skill level 0, A, or B niyan during the postgraduate work permit, then pwede ka makapag-apply sa CEC. Okay.
Gaano
Meron ding
ka sorry attorney, gaano kahirap kasi you're saying na yung sa NOC or para makapasok sa CEC, may mga conditions. And one condition is to check the skill level kung nagmamatch yung job experience nila doon sa list of NOC skill level.
Yeah.
So, you're mentioning 0, A, and B.
and B. Yeah.
And 0 is, isa doon is
It's
pagiging manager. You know,
managerial positions. Yeah.
managerial position. What if attorney walang managerial experience, no? Like me, I don't have any manager. Tsaka medyo mahirap din makakuha ng manager title sa ibang
Correct.
bansa. Especially, kunyari, kakagraduate mo lang and then nakakuha ka ng postgraduate work permit or yung pag-extend ng visa mo, no? Fresh graduate. Hindi ba parang, or meron bang way sa mga hindi manager naman ang kukunin nilang position para maka-apply sila ng residency using the CEC?
Well, isipin natin, hindi lang naman isang level ang allowed diyan. Ang
Okay.
pinag-uusapan natin na managerial is only one of the skill levels. Meron pa
Alright.
tayong A saka B. Yung A, yung professional jobs na yan. Bawa kung
Alright.
anong profession mo, nakapagtrabaho ka as doctor, as dentist, or architect, or like engineer. So yan, skill level A yan. Pasok din yan.
Okay.
So kung hindi pa rin, kasi medyo challenging, depende sa qualification, masyadong mataas ang competition dito.
Yeah.
Marami kayong graduate na same course or same program. Pwede ka dun sa B, skill level B. Mga technical jobs or skill trades. Yan. Ito naman yung mga jobs na pwede mong pasukan. Halimbawa dyan, yung plumbers, chef,
Mm-mm.
electricians,
Mm-hmm.
supervisor, mga
Mm-hmm.
admin,
How about yung mga office
HR.
work, attorney?
Oh,
Like
yes,
mga
office work.
HR. You mentioned HR.
HR,
HR is a skill.
payroll, yung mga yan, administration,
Nasa
IT.
accounting.
Yes,
Ah.
as long as nasa B, skill level B yan.
Mhm. So at
Kasi
hindi yun managerial position kasi
hindi.
yun yung mga nasa back-end workers, right?
Hindi,
Yung mga
kung
office workers.
mahirap talaga
Mm.
ang managerial tsaka
Oo.
supervisory lalo na pag
Oo.
bago kang graduate unless
Tama.
na meron kang PhD or managerial experience
Mm.
offshore, right?
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
pero sa mga wala, then focus on skill level B. And any job na merong skill level B or A. But preferably, ang mga hinahanap nila, syempre yung connected doon sa education mo. Kasi syempre mag-a-apply ka, graduate ka ng Canada, ito yung pinag-aralan
Mm.
mo.
Mm-mm.
Siyempre, yun ang ano mo, i-showcase mo doon sa employer mo. Pero kung
Mm.
wala talaga, you can use any job with your own experience outside Canada.
Mm-mm.
As
So
long as
it's
merong tatanggap sa yung employer.
Mm, right. So it's really important na sa umpisa pa lang, day one pa lang na kung balak mo mag-aral, is you
Mhm.
really have to think about your program or yung course na kukunin mo kasi nakakonect pala yan. No, nakakonect yan hanggang sa pag-residente mo, no? If you're gonna take the CEC, they will still review yung ano yung kinuha mong program, no, o yung course mo sa school dito sa
Yes.
Canada, no? Tama ako, attorney.
Yeah. Kaya
So
nga
it's
sabi
really
ko nga
important.
pag nag-aral ka dito sa Canada, syempre ay, hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin na uuwi na ako pag-aral ako. Meron kang opportunity magtrabaho eh.
Yes, oo nga eh.
So
Binigyan ka na nga eh. At
so
hindi kailangan ng job offer. Hindi
correct.
required ang job offer para makapag-apply ka ng postgraduate work permit. No,
Yes. Hindi mo
hindi.
kailangan ng specific employer na bibigyan siya ng employment contract. This
Oo.
is an open work permit. So, yan, i-grab mo na yung opportunity.
Yes.
Siyempre, kung nandiyan na yung opportunity na yan, remember, yung postgraduate work permit is only a one-time application. Pag hindi
Mm.
mo nagamit ng maayos yan, then sa ibang program ka na pwede mag-apply.
Mhm.
So, kailangan nakaplano. Kaya nga ito, yung student permit is a pathway talaga yan. Kasi
Yes.
meron mga transition sa ibang programs. There are like 3 or 4 major programs na dadaanan ng isang estudyante bago makarating
Mhm.
ng PR or citizenship.
Mhm. So, ibig sabihin, this gives us an idea na hindi mo kailangan, there are a lot of options, hindi mo kailangan din maging manager, mag-apply ng manager,
Oh yeah.
makakuha ng trabaho ng manager para makapasok ka dito sa CEC
Mm-hmm.
pathway or program. No? There
Mm-hmm.
are a lot of positions
Mm-hmm.
na pwede kang maging permanent resident sa Canada. No? Tama,
Yes.
attorney.
Ang
Yan.
isang tip
Alright.
lang dyan para makakuha ka ng trabaho is galingan mo sa program mo. Lalo na yung may
Mm.
mga lalo na yung may mga co-op. Kasi yung mga
Mhm.
employers na yan, when they hire students for placement, may sweldo yan eh. Binibigyan na rin sila ng sweldo. Pagka magandang
Paid
performance
kasi.
mo,
Mm.
then you can be
Mm.
retained. You can be retained. So
Oh,
ito yung
okay.
mga opportunity pagka nandun ka na. Mga Pilipino magandang study habits eh. Kasi yung
Yes.
mga classmate nila dito sa Canada, multicultural din eh. Lahat mga international students yan. So
Mhm.
compared to other ethnicity, nakaangat ang Pilipino talaga sa
No.
mga programs. So it's a very good
Ayan.
opportunity talaga to go through a student permit and transition to PR.
Mhm. Ayan. Ayan. Kaya pala talagang talagang popular ang CEC no? Kasi kumbaga as a student, ang laki ng opportunity mo to stay in Canada, apply for PR
Mhm.
using the PGWP na
Correct.
lalo na pag nabigyan ka ng 3 years, no? 3
Yes.
years postgraduate work permit, use this visa or use this permit for you to gain Canadian work experience and then from there, mag-apply ka na ng CEC. 'Di ba?
Yes.
At may nakausap tayong sa podcast natin dati, attorney, no, may
Mhm.
nakausap kami na ito yung ginamit niya, pathway,
Oh
CEC.
yes.
So,
This is very very popular ang program na
mhm,
ito. And compared to other programs under express entry, mas
mhm.
mababa ang requirements dito sa CAC. Sa
What do you mean
language
by that,
sa
attorney?
language pa lang, hindi kailangan 7 lahat 'yan eh. Hindi mo kailangan pataasan eh.
Ah, okay.
Masyado eh. Because sa
Uh-huh.
CEC nagre-rely talaga yan sa experience. But they still need language requirement.
Mhm.
Bawa, for example, yung language na benchmark, yung CLB na required sa managerial is 7. Normal lang yan doon
Mm.
sa Federal Skilled Worker Program, right? That is
Mm.
the minimum. Pero sa CEC, you can go as low as CLB 5 pag ang ano mo, ang skill level mo is B.
Okay.
So hindi hindi ka
Anong sabihin mo dun,
ang
attorneys?
CLB
Okay.
7 kasi ang score sa IELTS niyan is dapat 6 lahat 'yan.
All
6
across all bands.
all band 6 and
Okay,
CLB
six
7.
dapat. Okay.
Pag CLB 8 7, CLB 9 CLB 7 and then 8 yung listening. Okay, pataas ng
Mhm.
pataas 'yan.
Oo.
Pagka nasa NOC, skill level 0 and A ka, yan ang kailangan mo minimum, CLB 7.
Mm.
Pero
Mm.
pagka sa CEC, sa skill level B, yung
Okay.
pinag-usapan natin kanina, hindi
Oo.
managerial, CLB ano ka lang, 5 yung kailangan mo. So mababa lang yan.
So, ibig sabihin
Uh,
five ang score mo across all
4,
bands? 4?
4.5 and 5.
Oh my gosh.
Mababa lang. Uh,
Sorry, natatawa ako. Natutuwa ako eh.
5,
Kasi dito ang
5,
taas.
5, 4.5 and 5. That's CLB 5.
Nice.
Hmm.
Okay, question. Does it have to be academic or general
It's
IELTS?
general IELTS. General.
General IELTS pa
General
kasi
lang.
mas mahirap ang academic eh. 'Di ba? Sa ano
Yes,
so
yes.
dito you're saying sa CEC um what if attorney kung academic ang meron sila, tatanggapin din ba nila?
Well, pag PR kasi, ang kailangan dito is general. And then,
General.
even if you have academic, expired na yan by that time.
Ayun
Kasi
nga
it's
no
more than
because
2
of
years.
the yes,
You
oo.
have
So
to
you
take
just have to
another
get.
IELTS. Yeah.
Okay. Kasi alam mo number one ano yan eh, common yan sa mga concerns ng mga Filipino na
Mhm.
concern nila is takot sila mag-IELTS. so so thank you attorney for sharing
Yeah.
that information. So ibig sabihin pala
Mm.
hindi naman ganoon, 'di ba? Hindi ganoon
Mhm.
kahirap ang requirement
Yeah.
sa Canada no in terms of sa English language level nila. Kasi meron namang at mas mababa as low as 4, 4.5, 5, no?
Yeah, sa mga,
Nasa yan,
may
no?
mga programs dito na almost hindi na nga kailangan. Yung TR to PR nga. Remember yung TR to PR, yung sinasabi ng 40,000? Yung sa
Oo,
mga
yes.
non-healthcare programs, yung mga
Mhm.
workers.
Mhm.
CLB ano lang yun, CLB 5, CLB ang required dun. So mga 4 or
Oh.
4.5 lang yun.
Mhm.
So that was a one-time opportunity sa mga ano dapat nag-apply kung eligible ka. Pero dahil sa napakarami nga, and then binigla naman yung mga ano aplikante, so yung ba hindi pa handa. Wala pang
Oo.
police clearance, wala pang IELTS. So sa dami nag-apply, hindi na nakaabot yung iba. Kaya there is a clamor right now, Immigration Canada, na baka
Mhm.
i-extend or ulitin ulit in the future. So
Ang
we are
galing.
expecting sometime in the future baka meron ulit. Okay.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you, attorney. Mas naliwanagan tayo about the CEC. So, ibig sabihin, you don't have to worry about the English language exam kasi
Yeah.
hindi ganon kataas. At the same time, you're only required to have at least 12 months work experience.
Mhm.
And then,
Yeah.
yun lang. At tapos, syempre, kailangan mo din i-match yun sa NOC skill level. Pero sinabi nga ni attorney, there are a lot of options. Merong skill level 0, kung mahirap sa 0, hindi kayo masyadong highly skilled professional. Diba? Ito yung
Yes,
mga
yes.
sinasabing not highly skilled professional. We have options sa A or sa B. No? Kahit hindi manager ang inyong experience,
Mhm.
pasok na pasok ka sa CEC. Pero
Yes.
again, ang tip is you have to be really careful about choosing the right program, 'di ba? Yung umpisa pa lang, napaka-importante ang planning stage.
So
Alright.
to be
Yes.
specific, yung sinasabi kong CLB 5, ang kailangan lang dyan is 5 lahat except yung reading 4. So, duruin mo yun, 4 lang sa reading and the rest 5. So,
Okay pa rin yun, attorney. Okay
mababa
pa
pa
rin.
rin, parang high
Compare
school na
sa,
lang yun eh.
yes, compare sa 6.5. Dito kasi
Oo.
6.5 eh, no? Para, actually, pinag-aral ka, 6.5 ang IELTS. So,
Saka yung CEC is more on experience talaga eh.
mhm.
It's a program that is focused on the experience taken inside Canada. Pero kung doon ka sa Federal Skilled Worker Program, yun yung madugo. Kasi i-score ka doon sa 6 selection factors. And then naka-concentrate yun sa mga point system talaga, all over
Yeah.
the factors. Okay.
Attorney, may nagtanong sa atin dito, auditor siya sa Philippines, no?
Mhm.
May bachelor degree siya, si Jeremiah Chua, no? Eto, karamihan, ito yung mga concerns. No, I'm worried about yung sa makukuha nilang part-time job sa Canada,
Mhm.
especially this time, no? Pandemic, ano kaya yung pwede nating ma-advise? Should I choose to utilize the student visa para makakuha siya ng trabaho at makapasok siya sa Canada? But I guess ang concern niya is, kung yes, kinuha nga niya yung study pathway,
Mhm.
ano naman ang pwede niyang maging part-time? No?
Well, kasi pagdating dito sa Canada, case to case kasi yan eh. Case to case. Unang-una, iba-iba yung qualification ng estudyante. Iba-iba yung skill before ka mag-aral. Kung ikaw ay talagang merong skill, merong experience before ka mag-aral, then mas malaking opportunity mo rito sa Canada maghanap ng trabaho. Pero kung newly graduate ka, wala pang experience, and then wala pang masyadong yung education mo is only yung bachelor's after nag-graduate, saka ka mag-aral, then medyo limited. Pero hindi ko sinasabi hindi ka makakaroon ng trabaho. Right?
Yeah.
Kasi pagdating dito sa Canada, pantay-pantay na yan eh when you study and you get the opportunity. Ang kwan lang dito is you have to plan. Kasi merong mga consideration na that will lead you to getting an employer faster and easily. For example, you have to consider your course, your program. Okay, kung ano ba yan, saleable ba yung program na yan? Okay? Ano ba yan, marami bang opportunity dyan sa Canada? Okay? Pangalawa, merong ano pa bang chances mo nakamit ng mga employers? So isipin mo, magko-coop ako pero para makamit ako ng potential employers. So this is another opportunity, right? So you have to plan that. Ngayon, pag graduate ka naman, be sure na bago ka graduate, meron ka ng mga target employers habang nag-aaral ka. Hindi
Yeah.
lang yun after ka graduate, saka pa lang mag-start. Kasi
Yeah.
once
And
tumungtong ka sa Canada, you have to explore, exhaust all the opportunities, right?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I think as a former student, no, at Attorney Earl, I think my comment kasi maraming ganyan eh, yung natatakot, ano magiging trabaho ko, 'di ba? Normal 'yan. I
Mhm.
think normal 'yan sa isang gustong mag-aral and being, migrant. Natatakot ka eh na mag-umpisa. Kasi syempre, pag wala kang trabaho, hindi ka kikita, mahirap
That's
mabuhay eh.
correct. That's
'Di
correct.
ba?
That's correct.
Pero I guess yung sinasabi ni attorney is with all of the opportunities na binigay because of the study pathway, biruin mo that you are allowed to work while studying, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Yun na lang, opportunity na yon.
Yes.
Kailangan mo talagang i-grab yun.
Mhm.
Kailangan i-exhaust mo lahat ng options and determination, dapat nandyan, rejection, expect mo na yan. Rejection will be there, 'di ba?
Yeah.
After mo pa makagraduate, no, right after you finish your program, there will be another opportunity for you, which
Mhm.
is yung PGWP, postgraduate work permit. No, with that PGWP, 'di ba, like kung nga sinasabi, attorney, if you will get 3 years, that's 1,095 days to be exact.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kung hindi mo susulitin yung 1,095 days, wala, 'di ba? I don't think naman na
Mhm.
napakaliit nun yung 1,095 days. At para sa akin imposible atang hindi ka makakuha ng
Yes.
trabaho sa ganung katagal. That's 36 months, no? Tama ba ako? 'Di ba? Ang tagal nun, attorney, no? And there are a lot of part-time jobs na pwede makuha during pandemic, no?
Oh
Yun
yes.
yung
Oh
mga
yes.
new market trends, no? Marami
Mhm.
admin assistant, office work, human resources, customer care representative, no?
Yes.
Advertising, marketing, lahat ngayon online na. 'Di
Mhm.
ba? As an auditor, pwede yan back-end eh, sa office eh. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Accounting, lahat. Ang dami kasi. Ang daming pwedeng maging trabaho talaga eh, no? Ang question lang diyan, how committed
Mhm.
ka to find a job, no?
Correct.
Ang kalaban mo lang talaga sarili mo dito eh, no? Pagka nahinaan ka ng loob o bigla kang, ay naku, hindi ako nakakuha ng trabaho. At alam mo yun, yung paghinaan ng loob, attorney, mahirap yun, no? So, kailangan talagang you need to fight for it.
Yeah.
And with all of the opportunity, ang tagal na ng visa na yun eh, no? With the PGWP, mag-aaral ka, magsistay ka, a lot of opportunities.
Well, based on
Yun.
my experience sa mga aplikante, mga estudyante, mga kliyente natin, well, talagang may competition. There is a competition in finding work. But then,
Yes.
depende na yan sa estudyante. Depende na yan sa
Mm.
estudyante. Kasi, case to case nga, di ba? Depende sa skill mo, depende sa
Yes.
performance mo, depende
Yes.
sa, kumbaga sa PR mo, right? You have to network.
Yes,
You have to
networking.
network sa
Yes.
Filipino community. Ako mismo, I can say that because I'm the president of an organization dito sa Canada. So marami tayong connections diyan na pwedeng ibigay sa mga Filipino na bagong maraming
Yun.
bagong salta o bagong dating.
Yes.
So you have to connect with those associations, organizations in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst comes to worst, kung talagang wala, sabi ko nga, marami pang programs na pwedeng gawin. If you cannot utilize yung PGWP, then you can utilize yung regular work permit. Okay? But then, yun nga, sinasabi ko, you still have to find an employer. Kasi yung PGWP naman is you're eyeing for a one-year work experience. Kung hindi mo
Yes.
nakuha yung one-year work experience na yun, then pwede ka pa rin mag-transition sa ibang program. Okay?
Ang
Maraming
dami. Ang
programs
daming
dito.
paraan.
Hindi pa natin na-discuss yung
Oo
provincial
nga eh.
nomination program, but this is
Yes.
also one opportunity, one option
Yeah.
sa mga estudyante, right?
Yes, yun. I hope, Jeremiah, nasagot namin yung question.
Mhm.
Thank you for that. So, sige, speaking of federal skilled worker, no, na-discuss na natin yung CAC. That's one of the most common pathway for the students para sila
Mhm.
maging residente. And another common pathway is yung federal skilled worker. Ano naman yun, attorney?
Well, yung Federal Skilled Worker Program, yung sinasabi ko nga, is still under the express entry system.
Okay.
Points-based din ito. Ibig sabihin, pag points-based, i-score ka nila sa mga factors. Actually, may 6 na factors yan kung saan ka makakakuha ng points. Isa
Okay.
dyan yung, yung age, okay? Yung edad, okay? Yung education, yung work experience mo. Kung meron kang job offer o may employer ka na dito sa Canada na willing kumuha sa'yo, pwede ka makakuha ng points doon. Yung English skills mo, whether English or French, yan. And yung adaptability mo rito sa Canada. Adaptability meaning gano'ng kakabilis makapag-settle dito sa Canada through your own relatives or ano bang mga factors na yan. Diyan sa 6 na yan, merong scoring yan. Okay, for example, sa age, ang maximum score mo makukuha sa age is 35 years old. Okay, kung tumaas ka ng
35.
35, pababa ng pababa. Ang maximum age sa minimum requirement dyan is 12. So ngayon, kung 36 ka na, maging 11 yan, 37, 10, pababa ng pababa. Pero ibig sabihin, hindi ka qualified. Kasi kung may edad ka na, mababawi mo naman ito sa ibang factors. Like yung
Yun.
work experience mo. Mataas naman yung work experience mo. May 6 years work experience ka naman. So maximum point ka naman doon. Right? So ganun ang kwan dyan, ang balancing ng point system. But you cannot
Okay.
you cannot guess your points talaga pagka ganyan lang. You have to consult someone na marunong mag-calculate nitong points na to. Or
Self-assessment, maraming gumagawa niyan, nagse-self-assessment.
yes, minsan nagkakamali, right?
Aha.
Kasi may specific mga points na assigned dyan. And then may mga baka hindi mo alam, may score pala yung yung auntie mo na nandito. Or may score pala
Oh.
yung brother mo na
Mm.
nandito. Or may score pala yung asawa mo na gusto mo pinakuha mo ng IELTS. So plus
So,
5 yun, mga yun.
so may
So
mga additional points pag may mga kamag-anak sa Canada.
yes, merong mga
Okay.
additional points yun. So
And this
this
is
is
under the federal skilled
Federal
worker.
Skilled Worker
Okay.
Program. Okay, so sa minimum requirement, you have to score at least 67 over 100 to get
67.
into the pool of candidates. Yung pool of candidates, ito yung mga candidates na lahat na nakapasa dun sa 67 over 100.
Okay.
Dati kasi, yung Federal Skilled Worker Program, mayroong cap yan per profession. For example, nurses. Dati, ang nurses, may cap yan, 5,000, 2,000 nurses for a year. Pagka naabot na yung 2,000, then close na. Dito sa express entry, wala nang cap. Okay? Kahit na ilan yung mag-apply, basta makapasok sila sa minimum required points of 67 over 100, makakapasok sila dun sa pool of candidates.
Okay.
Ngayon, dun sa pool na yon, you will have another calculation. Yun yung tinatawag na comprehensive ranking system, yung CRS na tinatawag.
Mhm.
Mayroong scoring din naman yon. Yung maximum score naman na pwede mo makuha doon is 1,200. Okay?
Ang taas. Okay.
1,200, pero ang mga scoring is different. Same factors pero different ang scoring. And then every 2 weeks, nag-i-invite yung Canada ng mga candidates na magsasubmit na ng mga documents. Ito ang tinatawag na invitation to apply.
To apply. Okay.
Okay. Kung may ITA ka na-invite ka, ibig sabihin yan, nakuha mo na yung points na
Mm.
tina-target ng Canada for
Mhm.
that week.
Mhm.
Every 2 weeks, meron kasing invitation yan eh.
Mhm.
Halimbawa ngayon, sa CEC, nag-invite
Mhm.
sila ng mga scores na 250 above ang
Mhm.
nakakuha sa CRS, then lahat yan may invitation. So mag-apply na sila, submit ng documents, then almost kuha na yan. Sabihin natin, diretso na yan sa PR. Basta
PR. Okay.
masubmit mo yung documents.
You
Sa mga,
mentioned attorney, sorry, attorney to cut you, no? You mentioned attorney kanina, the minimum points is 67.
yeah,
And then meron kang mini-mention na kanina sabi mo na nag-open just this week or yung recently lang nag-open na 200 points ang kukunin nila. So,
mm,
ang ibig mo bang sabihin, although there's a minimum points sa 67, ibig sabihin, kahit napasok ka sa 67, hindi ka pala makakaroon ng ITA.
yes, dalawang
Mhm.
klaseng scoring ang meron ng express entry.
Mm.
Yung 67 over 100, yun yung minimum required points to
All right.
qualify.
Okay, just to
Pagka hindi
qualify.
ka na
Mhm.
pagka hindi ka nakaabot ng 67, hindi ka makaka-proceed. Okay, stop ka na. So,
Mm.
hintayin mo
Mm.
na lang maging okay yung qualification mo or tumaas yung points mo over
Mm.
67. So, apply ka
Mm.
na lang ulit.
Mm.
Okay? Ngayon, pagka lumusot ka naman, 67 above ka, bawa
Mm.
nakakuha ka ng 70,
Mm.
o pasok ka na doon sa candidates pool na sinasabi ko. So, doon
Mhm.
sa pool na yon, mayroong scoring na iba. Yun yung CRS, Comprehensive Ranking System,
Mm.
na ang scoring is iba doon sa hindi na 67. Ang
Ah, okay.
dati, yung Federal Skilled Worker Program, ang score na hinihingi nila is 470 up. So
Okay.
yung mga nakakuha ng 470, 71, 72, yan, bibigyan lang invitation to apply. So kung
Mm.
nasa below 400 ka, hindi ka ma-invite. So pwede ka
Mhm.
mag-stay sa pool ng 1 year lang. Pag hindi nag-improve yung score mo, ulit ka. Ulit. So mawawala ka na dun sa pool. So reapply ka ulit. Okay? So it's very important na pagpasok mo ng pool, i-improve mo pa rin yung score mo. Okay? So
Mm.
one of the ways of improving your score is to apply for job sites dito sa job bank na tinatawag.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
sa job bank, pwede mong i-upload diyan yung yung resume,
Mm.
and then you can choose kung anong province ang pinili mo na pwede kang gusto mong pumunta. Then the
Mm.
province has access to that, to your profile.
Mm.
Kasi magkakaroon ka ng express entry profile niyan.
Mm.
Even the
Mm.
employers, they have access to your profile. Pag nagustuhan ka
Mm.
ng employer,
Mm.
pwede kang bigyan ng job offer that is 200 points.
Additional points.
Depende
Mhm.
sa
Additional.
depende sa skill level mo. And
Mm.
then pag nagustuhan ka ng province, pwede kang i-nominate ng province. Yun yung sinasabi kong provincial nomination program.
Mm. Mm.
So, pagka ni-nominate ka ng isang province, for example, in-nominate ka ng Ontario o in-nominate ka ng Alberta, you can get 600 points kaagad. So, it's
Mm.
over the required points na 400 plus sa Federal Skilled Worker Program.
Mm.
So, it's almost, you can say, automatic PR ka na dyan kasi in-invite ka ng isang province. Eh.
Mm.
Okay, but then, you have to stay in that province for a while. Like 2 to 3 years, because
Mm.
yan ang exchange. Eh. They will give you PR, but then you have to go through state that province and settle there
Mm.
and
Mhm.
contribute to the economy. So yan
Mhm.
ang agreement ng provincial nomination program.
I see.
Okay.
I guess ito yung realization ko listening to you, attorney. So, with all of the required points that you've mentioning, ang nakikita ko dito, ito yung sagot. Bakit ginagawa ito ng mga karamihan nating mga kababayan na nag-aaral? Because pag nag-aral sila, ang dami nilang nakukuhang points at mas
Yes.
tataas sila ng mas hindi na sila dadaan sa minimum eh. Diretso na,
Correct.
ang taas na ng
Mhm.
points nila at pag mataas na yung points nila, edi makakuha na sila ng ITA.
Yes. Lalo na pagka
Yeah.
merong education inside Canada, may
Mm.
additional points ka talaga.
Mm.
And then
Correct.
yung asawa mo nakapagtrabaho dito sa Canada, and then may mga additional qualifications,
Mm.
then expect na mas mataas yung points mo kung compared to doon mag-apply offshore.
Yes, kung
Kasi,
nasa Pilipinas ka pa lang,
oh,
no? Kasi
kung nasa,
waiting game ka dun eh. No, unlike I totally understand no
mhm,
why Filipino are choosing this pathway kasi waiting game ka dun. While waiting, edi gumawa ka na ng paraan. So a lot of Filipinos are choosing sige mag-aaral na ako. Sa
mhm,
Canada ko nabubuin yung points ko, yung skills ko, doon ako mag-up skills, doon ko na lahat kukunin. Yung mga work experience ko no para mas mapadali ako makapag-apply for Canada. No, ganun
yes.
pala
You will
yun.
only know kung anong program mo ang papasukan mo kung merong proper assessment doon sa qualification mo. Kasi
Of course. Mm-mm.
kung ikaw ay nag-aral na meron ng magandang experience at magandang education, nag-specialize
Mm-mm.
ka dito sa Canada, then
Mm-mm.
uh, there's no stopping you from applying to the Federal Skilled Worker Program,
Mm-mm.
right? So
Tama.
lalo na pag nagano ka pa, nagtrabaho ka pa rito sa Canada, meron kang
Mm-mm.
experience, work experience dito sa Canada. So
Mm-mm.
dalawa na option mo, you can go to the Federal Skilled Worker Program or yung CEC.
Oo nga eh.
Oh, di
Ang
ba? So
galing.
kung saan mas
Oo.
madali, doon ka pupunta. Right?
Yes. And that's with the help of ako I personally believe no. Kesa pa reviewin mo yung mga complicated migration policy, it's better, to go to someone who is professional and who's well experienced, no, kaysa mag-waste ka pa. Ang dami mong gagawin kasi, re-reviewin mo lahat. Kasi we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about a lot of pathways. So, it's better to go to someone, who's really experienced at alam na itong mga policies na to.
Correct.
So, attorney, may question ako. Going back to sa 67
Mm-hmm.
minimum points,
Yeah.
madali bang makakuha yung 67 points passing mark for FSWP?
Yes. Yung question kung madali, talagang I will say hindi ganoon kadali. Hindi ganoon
Mm.
kadali kasi
Mm-hmm.
before mo mamalaman kung ilang score mo, kailangan mo malaman kung paano yung sistema ng scoring, right?
Mm.
Kung
Mm.
paano halimbawa 30 years old ako.
Mm.
Oh, tapos wala akong masyadong experience. So sabihin mong pasok ka pa sa age, meron ka pang maximum sa age dahil 35 na yung maximum.
Mm. Mm.
Pero yung experience mo is mababa naman. So hindi ka
Mm.
makakuha ng maximum doon. So it's like
Mm.
a balancing of the
Yeah.
factors, right?
Mm-hmm. Hindi
Sabihin mong
straightforward. Hindi siya
hindi,
straightforward eh. Oo.
hindi lahat ng aplikante pare-parehas ang
Uh-huh.
experience. Porque
Yeah.
si friend mo pumasok dito, hindi automatic makakapasok ka rin eh.
Yes.
Kasi iba-iba ang qualifications and experience ng isang aplikante. Yan ang napaka-importante.
Mm.
Kaya importante wag magsumunod doon sa isang aplikante na nakarating dito using the same program and style. Kasi hindi pare-parehas talaga.
Yeah. Oo. Iba't
Doon
iba ang
usually nagkakamali.
situation.
Doon
Totoo
usually
yan.
nagkakamali.
Mm.
Okay. So ang sagot doon is hindi madali. Hindi madaling kumuha ng ganon unless talagang alam mo kung paano i-score yung sarili mo doon sa factors na sinasabi
Inaral.
ko. Mm-hmm.
Oo. No, mahirap talaga. No, mahirap. Sabi ko nga, minsan iba yung pagkakaintindi mo.
Correct.
'Di ba? Doon sa policy na yon. At share ko lang, attorney, meron tayong isang lumapit sa atin, no.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, ang ginawa niya, nag-DIY siya muna.
Mm-hmm.
Nag-DIY muna siya kasi yung pinsan din daw niya ay nag-DIY. Nasa Canada
Yun.
naman, no? Pero tinulungan siya ng pinsan niya na nandun
Okay.
na sa Canada. At tinulungan siya, ito yung ginawa ko kasi, ito rin yung gawin mo. So, pinaturn yung application
Yes, yes.
niya doon sa application niya, sa
Mm-hmm.
pizza niya. Which is
Correct.
mali. Na-deny siya. Na-deny yung kanyang application.
Yeah.
Kaya ngayon lumalapit siya sa atin.
Mm-hmm.
Which is ganun yung story. So, totoo yung talaga yung sinasabi ni attorney, guys, na
Mm-hmm.
hindi lahat pare-pareho. Hindi mo pwedeng i-apply yung mga ginawa ng mga kakilala mo sa'yo. No? Kasi we have a different scenario, different situation. So, totoo yun.
Yeah. Totoo talaga yun. Kasi unang-una pa lang, before discussing PR, ang kailangan mo munang ipasa yung student permit. Right?
Yes.
So,
Mm.
dun pa lang sa student permit, pag-apply noon, iba-iba ang case eh.
Mm-mm.
Kasi you can study here in Canada, but the question is, why?
Yep.
Yun ang tanong
Tama.
doon eh, bakit? Bakit ka mag-aral
Mm.
dito? So, yan ang
Mm.
kung
Your
masagot mo yan,
intentions muna.
kung masagot mo yung why na yon, then you can deserve you'll be given a study permit based on your
Mm-mm.
answer. Kasi meron tayong study plan na tinatawag na sa submit mo. You have to tell them and persuade them na deserving ka sa study permit based on the plan that you will present to them. And then you have to remember yung study permit, hindi ito permanent program. Temporary program ito. So yung pinag-uusapan nating mga transition, Federal Skilled Worker Program, yung PR citizenship, lalabas lang yan pagka nandito ka na sa Canada eh.
Yeah.
Pero at the outset during the application, hindi yun,
Hindi mo
wala
pwedeng
yun eh.
i-mention.
Oo, tsaka
Walang bilang.
wala sa ano yun eh. Kumbaga wala sa usapan yun. Hindi yung
Yes, oo
kasali.
nga.
Hindi yung
Oo.
kasali. But these are privileges and
Yep.
these are like practices
Yeah.
that's being done because of experience. Yan ang ginagawa natin. Pero hindi naman ito ni-advertise talaga sa IRCC. IRCC website na ito yung dapat mong gawin. Di ba?
Ang dami
Para
kasing
maging
pagdadaanan pa, attorney. Kaya nga sinabing pathway siya kasi ang dami mong pagdadaanan pa.
correct.
At kailangan mo tapusin yung pag-aaral mo,
Mhm.
no? After nun, kailangan mo pang makakuha ng trabaho, magstay sa Canada. So, marami pang gagawin eh. Pero ang kailangan mo lang talagang tanungin sa sarili mo kung ikaw ay nanonood at gusto mong mag-migrate sa Canada at gusto mong mag-aral, kailangan mong tanungin sa sarili mo, handa ba ako to do this? 'Di ba? Kasi there are a lot of people who tried this pathway at naging successful sila. Ako,
Correct.
nag-aral ako at naging successful ako. Hindi ko sinasabing magaling ako kasi attorney yung iba naman, they don't have any any highly skilled, they're not highly skilled professional, no, pero
Mhm.
nakakuha sila ng permanent residency sa Canada, no,
Yeah,
kasi sa sipag at tiyaga talaga nakukuha yan at sa tamang tao. Minsan you have to listen and to work with the right team para
correct.
makuha mo yung goal mo talaga, yun talaga.
And
So
then,
attorney, sorry, sige attorney, you were
yeah,
saying
saka
something.
isa pang ano diyan is technicalities mahirap yan ang maging reason para sa
Yeah.
refusal mo.
Yes.
Well, kulang ng dokumento or kulang hindi tama yung program. Kung mag-given na ito eh. You can seek the support or assistance of someone who knows how to do that.
Yep.
Wag mong solohin. Kasi minsan pag sinolo mo yan, okay naman kung talagang tama ang resulta eh. Pero sometimes mali because you're pressured. And pangalawa, you're not actually doing it as a practice eh. There are people like secure visa who can you can provide assistance, right?
Yeah.
Uh, for example, ganito, isang example lang, lahat ng documents pasado, ang ganda ng experience, ang ganda
Oo.
ng study plan.
Totoo
Pero
yan.
yung IELTS ang taas, 8.888. Pero mayroong isang 5.5. So ngayon, that was the reason for refusal. Kasi yung IELTS has to be 6 at least minimum. O hindi ka bababa dyan sa so ganyan technical. Although ang average niya is 7.5 dahil matataas ang naging
Okay.
ano. So these are like technicalities.
Yes.
Ang iba
Yes.
naman,
Isa lang yun sa
isa lang yun.
maraming technicalities, no?
Isa pa ngayon, yung mga schools ngayon, I think that was 2 days ago, nag-release na naman ng immigration ng regulation nila na yung mga asawa ng estudyante, normally they can get an open work permit, right?
Okay.
Pero pag ang estudyante nag-aral sa school na hindi PGWP accredited, the spouses cannot get an open work permit. So that's
Diba?
a new rule ngayon.
So, hindi
Okay?
lahat ng school at hindi lahat ng program ay merong mga tinatawag na pwede mo dalhin yung family mo, which is
Correct.
na-discuss natin yan sa mga previous webinars natin, ano. So, kung akala nila na very straightforward na pag student, okay, mag-aaral lang ako, mag-enroll lang ako. Hindi, no? There are a lot of things that you need to review and you need to know, no? Para magawa mo itong goal mo, no? To stay
Yes,
and
that's
live
true.
in
That's true.
Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sige, attorney. Let's move naman sa, you mentioned a lot kanina about sa provincial nominee program, pero may gusto ka pa bang idagdag about this pathway? This is also one of the pathways, di ba? Yung provincial nominee program. This is one of the pathway na pwede rin gawin ng student, no? Pero may gusto ka pa bang idagdag?
Yeah,
about this program? Mm-hmm.
ang provincial nominee program kasi is one of the programs na pwedeng utilize ng isang estudyante na graduate dito sa Canada. Kung yung mga federal programs ay hindi sila qualified, okay? So you can go to the provincial nominee program. So ito kasing provincial nominee program is a local counterpart of the federal. So pipili ka ngayon ng probinsya kung saan ka pupunta. Okay? Pero you have to have the intent and the ability to become economically established doon sa province na yun. Okay? Kasi doon ka magsasettle eh. Okay? Uh, Merong mga restrictions din. Okay? For example, sa mga estudyante, may mga estudyante kasing merong mga scholarships or grants. Okay? Pero hindi nila alam, yung grant pala na yon, merong proviso na kailangan nilang umuwi sa home country.
Oh,
Okay. So hindi sila pwede pumasok dito sa mga
okay.
programs na to. So they cannot transition to any other program kung merong silang condition na ganun based on the scholarships or grants na kinuha nila. So they have to be careful about that also.
Okay.
Okay. So yun, ang sistema dito is you can apply through the province itself, and then pagka na-nominate ka ng province, then you have to create the express entry profile. That is the federal profile, yung in-explain natin kanina. Or pasok ka muna dun sa federal express entry, gawa ka ng profile, then hintayin mong ma-nominate ka ng province. So once na-nominate ka ng province, you can get additional points of 600 na sufficient enough to
To apply.
get an ITA, invitation to apply doon sa express entry. Okay? So okay naman itong provincial nomination program, but then yun nga, kung walang ibang province na mag-apply sa'yo, doon ka talaga. Eh kung na-invite ka ng province na medyo malayo, tsaka ka muna ron, like sa New Brunswick, o kaya sa mga Atlantic provinces, doon ka muna. Pero pag after 2 or 3 years or 4 years na naging PR ka na doon, then you can just move sa ibang provinces kung saan mo gusto. But this is still an option. Kung ako sa mga estudyante, don't take this for granted kasi kung ito na lang yung program na available, then you have to grab it.
Grabe, ang dami. Ang daming pathway. Tutusin.
Yeah. Tsaka if there's a problem, basta merong proper assessment,
Yes.
pwedeng ma-salvage yan eh. Salvage, ibig sabihin, magawa ng paraan.
Yeah.
Pwedeng ano yan eh, ma-direct sa ibang program. Basta maintindihan lang nung tulad ko na I can check on the experience, on the what really happened, ano yung program na pwedeng gawin. So I can advise kung saang program natin pwedeng i-transition
Yeah.
yung estudyante na yan. Kung hindi na available lahat ng mga programs. Kaya dun sa nagtanong kanina, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Maraming mga programs dito sa Canada na pwedeng pasukan after graduating from an
Yes.
institution.
Yes, and this is why we're here, attorney. This is why we're
Yes.
here. We want to educate and guide every aspiring migrants or students na gustong pumunta sa Canada. Attorney Earl is based in Canada, guys. No, so we are here to support you and guide you and educate you. So, attorney, what is your last message sa mga gustong mag-migrate sa Canada? At ang mga tanong lagi is yun, katulad na ng tanong kanina si Jeremiah, na syempre natatakot, malaki ba talaga ang chance ko sa isang student to get a PR in Canada? Yan ang mga tanong. Kasi let's face it, education or studying in Canada, it's not that cheap. Kailangan mo
Correct.
talagang mag-invest ka talaga dyan. Pero ako naniniwala kasi ako, attorney, with that investment, sobrang ROI ka na nun. Return
Oh
of
yeah.
investment
Oh
talaga.
yeah. Saan ka ba naman
Pero,
nakakitang nag-aaral tapos magtatrabaho ka pa? Right?
oo nga no? At meron ka pang co-op na pwede ka pang mag-full-time. Ang dami.
Yeah.
Alam mo, itong student pathway is really a blessing for everyone, who wants to move to Canada and who wants to upskill at madala yung buong pamilya nila. There's a lot of possibility. So what is your message being an immigration lawyer, being a resident, a PR in Canada? What is your message, attorney, sa mga aspiring Filipinos na nanonood sa atin?
Well, yung message ko is ganito. I will tell you a little story about my
Sige.
experience coming here in Canada kasi I came here not as a student. Okay, we
Mhm.
came here as a permanent resident.
Diretso
Uh,
na.
yeah,
Okay.
doon tayo sa Express Entry Federal Skilled Worker
All
Program.
right.
Kaya lang,
Mhm.
my wife was the principal applicant. So,
Mhm.
sabit lang ako. So, no choice ako eh. Sasama talaga ako eh. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So the thing is, when we landed, uh, we find it difficult to find jobs, right?
Mhm.
It's because of Canadian experience. We don't have that. Canadian education, we don't have that.
Mhm.
So, medyo tumagal eh. Tumagal pa yung kwan bago kami nakabalik sa professions. Okay?
Mhm.
So, naiisip ko ngayon, pagka pumasok ka ng student visa, you will go right away in the institution of your own choice. Then you will graduate in 1 or 2 years.
Right.
Okay? So pag graduate ka in 1 or 2 years, then you have a Canadian diploma. Yun ang pagkakaiba ng
Oh.
permanent resident sa
I see.
estudyante.
I
So kung yung
see.
estudyante, nag-aaral, nagtatrabaho ng part-time.
Mhm.
Yung immigrant na landed immigrant or sabihin natin permanent resident,
Mhm.
kahit anong job muna kasi wala pa namang ano eh, 'di ba? Wala pa
Mhm.
namang Canadian education or
Mm, mm,
experience.
mm.
So, 'yun. So tumagal sila doon. So by the time na nagtrabaho sila, yung mga permanent resident, tapos na graduate yung estudyante. So on the second or third year, maganda na yung mga trabaho ng estudyante. So
Oo.
nakabawi na sila financially sa investment
Yes.
nila.
Mhm.
Okay. So yung permanent resident, after 2 or 3 years, sa kanila ma-realize, oh no, I have to go back to my profession. So saka pa lang sila babalik sa school. So,
Oh.
during that time, ano naman, meron namang student assistance program, pero
Uh-huh.
compared to a student, ano na sila, graduate na sila. So ang
Oo.
iniibig ko sabihin,
Kumbaga steady na yung student.
yung pag
Mm.
pumasok ka student, mas mapapabilis yung career mo. So
Yes.
this is an advice from someone who
Mhm.
who saw
Kaya nga eh.
two different worlds, okay?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So maganda yung plan. If you're eyeing for a student visa, just go for it and just
Yes.
get the right information
That's true.
that will help you decide kung ito
Mhm.
na ba talaga. Okay? So once you
Yes.
get that, then there's no stopping you. Tuloy-tuloy na yan.
Yes. Thank you, attorney. No, that's a good message. That's a good
Mm.
message for everyone. Nako, na being no ikaw straightforward na PR na pagdating,
Mhm.
kinompare mo pa yung journey versus the student na mas mapapadali pa. A great shortcut talaga eh.
Correct.
Kasi
That's true.
napakaganda. So thank you, attorney, for your time, for the pointers you have shared today. And to everyone, no, if you like and learn something from this episode, please give us a shout out and share this to others if you think will also gain something or benefit from it. And we want to help you guys get all the information you need here at Secure Visa. So everyone, we do have a webinar, a free webinar entitled Discover How I Gain My Permanent Residency Visa here in New Zealand using the study pathway despite not being financially ready. I know a lot of you are not financially ready, you know, and of course, not being a highly skilled professional. And you will also learn how you can earn and live in Canada and in New Zealand. So you can register for free. Click the link in the description box or just send us a message and yun, register na kayo. So in that webinar, you will learn how I got my permanent residency despite not being highly skilled and or part of the in-demand list like IT, healthcare, no, hindi ako engineer, hindi ako nurse, no. So if you're really serious about migrating to Canada and New Zealand, join us in our webinar and don't forget to hit like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Secure Visa. For podcast listener, please follow the Secure Visa podcast, and for our Facebook viewers, please like and share our page, Secure Visa Consultancy. So watch out. We do have a next episode. Meron tayong next episode. We will discuss what is express entry and why most probably you are not qualified, no? Ano ba 'yon? Bakit hindi ka ma-qualified sa express entry? So exciting, 'di ba? Okay, so hanggang sa muli. Thank you guys for joining. See you and don't forget to safeguard your future with Secure Visa. Thank you.